Betwabo, beautiful people. Betwabo. Cool. All right, beautiful people. Top of the day. Betwabo, Alicia, y'all. Hey, girl, hey. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Last night at sundown was the last day 7. Yeah, ended sundown last night, day 7 of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, y'all. Today is April the 16th, 2020, day 122. We are reading the last chapter in the book of First Chronicles, which is chapter 29, and then we start in Second Chronicles. So we're going to read 1 and 2. All right, beautiful people. I ain't going to keep y'all long today. All right, so let's go ahead and start reading. First Chronicles, last chapter, chapter 29. Furthermore, David the king said unto all the congregation, Solomon my son, whom alone Yahuwah had chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great, for the place is not for man. For the palace is not for man, but for Yahuwah. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of Yahuwah the gold for the things to be made of gold, and the silver for the things of silver, and the brass for the things of brass, the iron for the things of iron, the wood for the things of wood, onyx stones and stones to be set, glistering stones and of divers colors, and all manner of precious stones and marble stones in abundance. Betwabo, Nikki, Betwabo, Tiffany. Moreover, because I have set my affection to the house of my God, I have of my own proper good of gold and silver, which I have given to the house of my God over and above of all that I have prepared for the holy house, even 3,000 talents of gold, and of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls and the houses withal, the gold for the things of gold, and silver for the things of silver, and for all manner of work to be made by hands of artificers. And who then is willing to consecrate his service this day unto Yahuwah? Then the chief of the fathers and the princes of all the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the rulers of the king's work, offered willingly, and gave for the service of the house of Yahuwah of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 drams, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and 100,000 talents of iron. And they with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of Yahuwah by the hand of Jahael the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced that they offered willingly, because with a perfect heart they offered willingly to Yahuwah. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Wherefore David blessed Yahuwah before all the congregation, and David said, Blessed be thou, O Yahuwah, God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Thine, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in heaven and in the earth is thine. Thine is the kingdom, O Yahuwah, and thou art exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come of thee, and thou reignest over all. And in thine hand is power and might, and in thy hand it is to make great and to give strength unto all. Now therefore, Yahuwah, we thank thee and praise thy glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly after this sort? For all things come of thee, and of thine own have we given thee. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners as we all are, and sojourners as were all our fathers. Our days on earth are as a shadow, and there is none abiding. O Yahuwah our God, all this store that we have prepared to build thee a house for thy holy name, commanded of thy hand, and is all thy own. I know also, my God, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart I have willingly offered all these things. And now I have seen with joy thy people, which are present here, to offer willingly unto thee. O Yahuwah, God of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the heart of the people, and prepare their heart unto thee. And give unto Solomon my son a perfect heart, to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all these things, and to build a palace for which I have made provision. And David said to all the congregation, Now bless Yahuwah your God. And all the congregation blessed Yahuwah, the God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads and worshipped Yahuwah and the king. And they sacrificed sacrifices unto Yahuwah, and offered burnt offerings unto Yahuwah on the morrow after that day, even 1,000 bullocks, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, and their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all of Israel. And did eat and drink before Yahuwah on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him unto the house of Yahuwah to be chief governor, and Zadok to be priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of Yahuwah as King David instead of his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and mighty men and all the sons likewise of King David submitted themselves unto Solomon the king. And Yahuwah magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all of Israel, and bestowed upon him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Thus David the son of Jesse reigned over all of Israel. And the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. 7 years reigned he in Hebron, and 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer. You know, I have been looking for these books. I have not been able to find these 3 books. The book of Gad the seer, the book of Nathan the prophet, and Samuel the seer. You know, those are some big time prophets. You know, seers, prophets, same thing. You know, seers, they specifically see visions and have dreams, and they hear from Yahuwah. Some of the prophets, sometimes they just, you know, hear from Yah and get a message out to the people. All right, y'all, that was the last chapter of First Chronicles. Now we start Second Chronicles. We're going to read 1 and 2. Second Chronicles, chapter 1. And Solomon the son of David was strengthened in his kingdom, and Yahuwah his God was with him, and magnified him exceedingly. Then Solomon spake unto all Israel, and captains of thousands and of hundreds, and to the judges, and to every governor in all of Israel, the chief of the fathers. So Solomon and all the congregation with him went to the high place that was in Gibeon, for there was the tabernacle of the congregation of Yahuwah, which Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, made in the wilderness. But the ark of Yahuwah had David brought up from Kirjath-jearim to the place which David had prepared for it, for he had pitched a tent for it in Jerusalem. Moreover, the brazen altar that Bezaleel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, had made, he put before the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and Solomon and the congregation sought unto it. And Solomon went up thither to the brazen altar before Yahuwah, which was at the tabernacle of the congregation, and offered 1,000 burnt offerings upon it. And that night Yahuwah did appear unto Solomon, and said unto him, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said unto Yahuwah, Thou hast showed great mercy unto David my father, and hast made me reign in his stead. Now, O Yahuwah, let thy promise unto David my father be established. For thou hast made me king over the people, like the dust of the earth in multitude. Give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out and come in before this people. For who can judge this people that is so great? And Yahuwah said to Solomon, Because this was in thine heart, and thou asked not riches, wealth, or honor, nor the life of thine enemies, neither yet hast asked long life, but hast asked wisdom and knowledge for thyself, that thou may judge my people, over whom I have made thee king. Wisdom and knowledge is granted unto thee, and I will give thee riches and wealth and honor, such as none of the kings have had before thee. Neither shall there be any after thee have the like. Then Solomon came from his journey to the nigh place that was at Gibeon, to Jerusalem, before the tabernacle of the congregation, and reigned over Israel. And Solomon gathered chariots and horsemen, and he had 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horsemen, which he placed in the chariot cities with the king at Jerusalem. And the king made silver and gold at Jerusalem as plenteous as stones, and cedar trees made he as the sycamore trees that are in the vale for abundance. And Solomon had horses brought out of Egypt, and linen yarn. The king's merchants received the linen yarn at a price, and they fetched up and brought forth out of Egypt a chariot for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. And so bought they out horses for all the kings of the Hittites and for the kings of Syria by their means. Last chapter for today, 2 Chronicles chapter 2. And Solomon determined to build a house for the name of Yahuwah, and a house for his kingdom. And Solomon told out 70,000 men to bear burdens, 70,000 to hew in the mountains, and 3,600 to oversee them. And Solomon sent to Huram the king of Tyre, saying, As thou didst deal with David my father, and did send him cedars to build him a house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. Behold, I build a house to the name of Yahuwah my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual showbread, and for the burnt offerings morning and evening, or the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feasts of Yahuwah our God. There is an ordinance forever to Israel. And the house which I build is great, for great is Yahuwah above all gods. But who is able to build him a house, seeing the heaven and the heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who am I then that I should build him a house, save only to burn sacrifice for him? Send me now, therefore, a man cunning to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in iron, and in purple, and crimson, and blue, and that can skill to grave with cunning men that are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, whom David my father did provide. Send me also cedar trees, fir trees, and algum trees out of Lebanon, for I know that thy servants can skill to cut timber in Lebanon. And behold, my servant shall be with thy servants, even to prepare me timber in abundance, for the house which I am about to build shall be wonderful great. And behold, I will give to thy servants the hewers that cut timber 20,000 measures of beaten wheat, and 20,000 measures of barley, and 20,000 baths of wine, and 20,000 baths of oil. Then Huram the king of Tyre answered in writing, which he sent to Solomon, because Yahuwah hath loved his people, and hath made thee king over them. Huram said moreover, Blessed be Yahuwah, the God of Israel, that made heaven and earth, who hath given to David the king a wise son, endued with prudence and understanding, that might build a house for Yahuwah, and a house for his kingdom. And now I have set a cunning man endowed with understanding of Huram my father's, the son of a woman of the daughters of Dan, and his father was a man of Tyre, skillful to work in gold, and in silver, and brass, and iron, and stone, and in timber, and purple, and blue, and in fine linen, and in crimson, also to grave any manner of graving, and to find out every device which shall be put to him, with thy cunning men, and with the cunning men of my lord David thy father. Now therefore the wheat and the barley and the oil and the wine, which my lord hath spoken of, let him send unto his servants, and we will cut wood out of Lebanon, as much as thou shalt need, and we will bring it to thee in floats by sea to Joppa, and thou shalt carry it up to Jerusalem. And Solomon numbered all the strangers that were in the land of Israel after the numbering wherewith David his father had numbered them, and there were found 150,000, 3,600. And he set 70,000 of them to be bearers of burdens, and 80,000 to be hewers in the mountains, and 3,600 overseas to set the people a work. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. We finished up First Chronicles. Our last chapter was chapter 29. We just started in Second Chronicles, and we read 1 and 2. And with that being said today, beautiful people, that is our reading, and we are done. We are going to go ahead and close this out for today. I know some days I run my mouth. Y'all probably wait for me to give y'all some updates and stuff, but not today. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and do the blessing, which is found where? Numbers chapter 6. Verses 22 through 27. May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. Peace.